So hi, um, I was using the app this morning. The app is called. There's an app called Liven, and obviously, my channel is way too small to have sponsors, so I don't have sponsor. I wish I do though, but I got it maybe 1 month ago or less, and I paid maybe like $50, something like this. And I must say that the information on the app is very helpful. Like, it's so significant. Like, you see these apps being advertised, saying how they will do this, they will do that, especially ones on mental health and dealing with emotional trauma, especially from childhood or whatever is going on with you. And it's so cliche to see them that you don't actually think that they have value, right? So I got this living app for whatever reason I got it. Because, anyways, I'm reading a lot of personal development books and have watched a lot of personal development videos, and I've been doing this for a long time. And like a lot of people, we have a lot of trauma growing up. I had also, mine was mainly like neglect. Mine was like huge neglect. And it came from neglect in terms of death. There's a lot of people who died when I was younger, when I was growing up. And from a very young age. So experienced like a lot of loss and grief from a very early stage, and it was continuous for a very long time. On top of this, there were actual physical neglected because a lot of people walked out of our lives. When I say our, I'm talking about like siblings. Like, a lot of people walked out of our lives, and we were basically accustomed to it. The only place that was consistent was the airport. Like, I like going there because the journey there was like amazing. Driving in the early mornings for a flight. I was never going anywhere though. I was I was always being left, you know? We were always being left. And but I like going there, you know? And we were not an emotional family at all. So the leaving was basically just being in the vehicle, going to the airport. We did not hug, we didn't have really any emotional contact. It was okay, bye. And that was it. If you believe it or not, I remember the first time like this particular person was trying to impress this new person, and they grabbed us. This was like my other sibling, two other siblings, and it was such a strange feeling. And I say grabbed, I mean grabbed to hug us, and they could even hug. They tried to hug all three of us all at once. We were very young, maybe like I would say between 6 and 9 years old. Three of us was between this age, around that time, or maybe 6 and 10. Right, I'm in the middle, and that never happened before, never. So we were, three of us was like awkwardly bunched up, and we didn't really physically react to the hug. We just stood like stiff, like still, waiting for it to be over, and the grab was like so awkward. And when it was finished, we just turned our back and we left. So basically, that's what we're used to, right? And it may sound sad to some people who lived other lives, but that was our life. We didn't think it was weird because weird was normal. And we just moved on. People moved on from us a lot, and we moved on from them a lot. And it was normal to not to be attached to anything because everything was leaving except for us. So that was norm. A lot of things happened. There was like emotional abuse, obviously. With situation like that, it stems also from emotional abuse. And there was also like discrimination, not racial discrimination, but discrimination in terms of you're not a part of our family kind of discrimination, like you people and us discrimination. And there was a lot of people who was jealous of us, which didn't make any sense to me. And I didn't even know it was jealousy. I just knew that those people, like something wasn't right. I was just too young to know, understand jealousy and greed. I actually didn't understand it until easily less than 5 years ago. I didn't understand what these words in real life actually mean in the evilest state ever. I didn't understand it, because, negativity was the modus operandi and it was normal. Okay? So you see things, you already know that it's not it, but you didn't understand it. You didn't understand what it was, so you just basically moved on. That in itself obviously caused like emotional, or no, cognitive disorder, which I kind of felt that I had. I mean, a lot of people have, but I kind of felt that something wasn't right. I didn't know what it was. And I decided to use the Liven app for whatever reason. The marketing appealed to me, I guess. And this morning when I read something, I don't quite remember what the topic is. I would try to look, but I don't want to stop the video. But I think it was talking about like childhood trauma, and it gave quizzes and stuff. And I did like 3 quiz, but the first quiz was like very eye-opening, right? I think it marked that I have like maybe 77, it was 77 or 80% cognitive disorder as a result of neglect. And it had the explanation of what it is exactly and what it can cause, how it can affect the way you think, deal with relationships, intimate relationship, everyday life, how you solve problems. And I was aghast. Like, the explanation was like me textbook. It was crazy. There was some other points they made. Neglect was one of them. I don't remember the other topics that they talked about as a result of my score. So, but I scored high in most of them, which is not like Which is good, you know why? Like, it's not good to score high in most of them, right? Because it means that you cray cray under the quiet. But at least you know what it is, and you have an opportunity to call it by name, and you can recognize, oh, so this is what this strangeness or strange feeling or lack of understanding is about, you know? So I guess putting on label on things like really help you to confront it, you know, to it's like the first stage of like trying to resolve. Because I guess if you don't know the name of it or you don't know if it's a thing, you can't resolve it, right? So that's what happened. Like when I read it, it's like my whole cranium like detached. There was some sense of a little bit of relief. I don't know. It's like it was like a discovery, you know, like I felt like my brain discovered something that it wanted me to discover, but it didn't know how to communicate it to me because I didn't know. It's like I didn't know what I didn't know, right? So there's no way I could know it, you know. And then my brain, based on the app, had something to like, it had words to communicate to me. And I wouldn't say it was a aha moment, but it's like, oh, that's why I feel weird. Like for forever. Last week I was searching some stuff and I found this very simple Google explanation of what cognitive dissonance is. And they were saying that basically they were talking about it in two parts, right? And the second part, which I didn't know was a thing, is that it's like you can feel it. You can feel it in your body. You can, if you take the time to sit quietly, which I love to do, but I haven't been able to do that in a long time. But I love quietness, you know, I just love it. Just to sit still, even to people watch, just to sit still and look on the environment, or to be in a quiet place. Like I always like the quiet because it's like things just make sense. Like things start, like your brain can process, you know? So yeah, so they said there's a feeling, it's like when your values is in conflict with your actions, right? And you either have to like change your action, which is on the outside, or expand your values, because you know we all don't know everything. So maybe actually your values need to be expanded or changed, or you need to change the physical action. But once there's a conflict, that's when you have a cognitive dissonance, which I guess they're not speaking to each other, or they just, it's a confusion in your brain. And although you verbally don't know the confusion, but if you take time to like pause, you can literally feel like it's like this, you know? It's like this. You can feel it. You know, things it's not being able to process, you know? And that can cause a little discomfort in your mind, which cause you to behave a certain way that you wouldn't have if you were in alignment with your values, you know? You would make decisions that you wouldn't have made, and how you respond to people, you wouldn't have responded to them that way, but you don't know. All you know is maybe it's so normalized, this cognitive dissonance, it's so normalized that you are doing things in conflict with your values, so you don't even realize that you're doing it because you're doing it every day, but you can feel like something is like not connecting, like it's not right, you know. Anyways, so yeah, so the Liven app, ugh, it's like some kind of tension just lifted off my head just a little, and I feel like an awareness that I've never known before. Maybe because it's like new information. On the app, it's a lot of reading, which is the interface is not really very cool. You know, I was thinking that like a video would be easier to go through or a little bit more fun. But I guess if you have to read it, then you have to focus more. Unlike with a video, you can really spaz out, you know. So I don't know if the interface is the best way to introduce the people to this product or this app, but I can attest like it turning stuff in my cranium. You know, you're not weird. I don't think I'm weird actually, but something is like not right, you know, and the app kind of like put it in your face, and then when you reflect you be like, oh my gosh. It's like when it happened this morning, it's like I almost want to say I didn't know I was depressed. You know, you hear that statement that a lot of people say they were depressed but they didn't know because it was so normal. I don't know if it's depression, but I can say I didn't know I had a condition because being this way is so normal. But it's not. It's not. For a lot of people who are humanly, because I mean obviously we all have a level of understanding or a level of personality defect, but mine was extreme or barging on the extreme, like it went over the line, it went into the extreme zone for sure. And that's why I guess I couldn't understand how some people were. And sometimes I made decision that I know that if I was in a other mindset I wouldn't. Like you kind of know, like you feel it. Like I feel like if like you feel the feeling like something is not right? And sometimes I would like refuse to make some decisions because I it's like I know I'm not like qualified to make that decision. And I'm feeling like if my mind was right, I could make the right decision or I would have seen it. And I don't know that my mind is not right, but I like feel like something is not like how it's supposed to be. Anyways, that's what I want to tell you about the Liven app. So if you want to check it out, it's not bullshit. But then again, to each his own, because some information have impact based on your previous education or awareness. And for me, I read a lot of personal development book. Like I'm into personal development very strong. And I guess it's because of my background, you know, like I'm trying to fix what I don't know what needs to be fixed in and where it is. Like I don't know. You know, like I have pretty much lived a neglected life all my life. Always fighting battles. Always alone. It's like so normal. And I can be around like human beings in the population, right? But in terms of like close knit, like I don't have that at all. I basically have no family. Let's put it out that way. No, there are people who are can say that they are related because, like, this person's supposed to be your aunt, this is supposed to be your grandparents, but I have no relationship with nobody. So that's how our family is. Like, people were not really around. Nobody was around. Nobody at all. So people have, from our point of view, because they were among themselves separate from us. So that's a good explanation. Everyone was among themselves separate from us. So we were like thrown to the shadows, I guess. So yeah, check it out. So yeah, yeah, what I was saying, yeah. So I've read a lot and understood a lot, and maybe because of that, like awareness that I have before, when I read something like this, it's impactful. But I guess if you don't have the awareness, you will have a different impact. So let's all remember that, when we're approaching products, it's not that the product is bad, it's maybe you're not at that level. Like, for example, mathematics, like maths is taught from kindergarten, right? But if you're just learning algebra, then pure mathematics doesn't make sense, although it's all maths, although it's all mathematics, right? And if you've been doing pure mathematics all the time, which I'm just going to put analogy of the people who had things together enough, you know, so they have a very functional life. If they've been having that good all their life, it's very difficult for them to understand that there are some people who don't know what algebra is. Like, they don't get it, they can't understand it. Like, it's not real, like it's impossible, because they've been living in the pure mathematics world. They all their life, it's normal, it's like basic common sense. They can't understand. Some people don't know numbers. Like, it's not possible for them to understand. So it just depends on your level. Okay, well, thank you. I hope you like my video.